Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at this Indiana Jones figure by S.H.Figuarts. So let's just take a look at the package to begin with. Right there we've got a nice big window showing Indy himself and some of the accessories he comes with there, with little preview windows of some of the things. Although that one I can't really see very well. What is that? Oh, extra arms, I see. Up close we've got a really nice very Indiana Jones style design going on here with some kind of, I don't know, Mayan ruins or something, and then a nice classic image of Indiana Jones there, straight from the poster, as well as the Indiana Jones logo, and a great golden S.H.Figuarts right there. Very shiny. On the side we have Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, so this one is specifically for the first movie. And a nice, just straight on kind of heroic shot of Indy right there without the jacket. On the opposite side we've got a similar thing, but this time he's a little bit more action-y posed, and he's got his jacket on, looking good there. Got a really cool looking shot on the bottom here. He's got his hat on, holding that. And some information there if you're so inclined to check it out. On the back we've got a few more shots here. You can see there's kind of an action pose going on there. Here's some just kind of showing off how you can use the heads and the different items. I'm really looking forward to this smirking face, that's pretty good. And showing the accessories that he comes with. They all look pretty nice. We've also got the image from the Staff of Ra right there, which is cool. Nice that they threw that in, as well as this kind of background of the map to represent, you know, when he's traveling in the movies and they show the plane going by. Good stuff there. And on the bottom, some more just technical information. So what say we open this up and see what's inside? Inside the box, the backing of it, as you can see, it's just white cardstock in there, or whatever, cardboard material. It's got this nice map. It's the same one used on the back of the package there. It's really cool. The old style plane and everything like that. Nice addition. I'll just put it back there. Of course, we've got instructions here on how to peg everything together, and oh my god, we gotta take his head off. Terrifying. Yeah, I was wondering about that, because he's got these expressions, and I was wondering if they could be mixed with the hat, or if they're not able to wear the hat, but it seems like we can switch out the hair and put the hat on any of them, which is a nice touch. So let's just start with some accessories here. As you can see, he's got a multitude of hands going on. These are already falling out, so let's check these out. Looks like he's got a pair of just open hands. I guess this little notch is going to be to hold on to something like the idol, perhaps. Pretty good detail. He's got, you know, the little lines on his knuckles and the nails and stuff. There doesn't seem to be really any paint on them. They're fairly basic in that regard. I'm guessing this is going to be the gun hand with that finger, the trigger finger. And this might be to hold something, like a map maybe, or something like that. And I guess this is going to be for the whip, but it actually looks like you can just have him giving a thumbs up, which is actually pretty good. Oh, maybe this could be also to hold the hat? No, I think it's just the whip, perhaps. Next up, we've got the arms here. So this is going to be the non-jacket option. So this is the kind of the shoulder piece there. It's a little separate, but as you can see, it's got sleeves rolled up. You can switch out the hands. This is the other set of hands, just kind of casual, I guess. Let's take a look at some of the other non-body parts he comes with. So this is his bag. I have the real bag of this from World War II, and so I can vouch for the accuracy or not, but it looks pretty good. So even that little string and that thing are on the actual real military used bag, so it's nice to see that they got all that accurately on there. So I'm guessing that'll just snugly fit over his shoulder. Then we've got his very long whip. It's pretty long. Doesn't seem to be like bendable or anything. There's no wire or anything like that. Just plastic, but I guess that's just designed to pose with him whipping. Some kind of action pose. It's got a nice, you know, woven texture going on throughout the whole thing. With the little piece at this is the piece that makes the cracking sound. This is all leather. This is a different type of material, and it makes the sound when you whip it on a real one. Next up is the
bag of sand
that he collects when he tries to swap out the idol and it's not the correct weight, I guess. Oh yeah, you can see there's some finger indentations there, so when he holds it, it'll fit snugly in his hand. Very simple. Once again, not really any paint applications on it, just kind of a greeny gray color. Then we've got his gun here. I just realized there's actually a gap between there. Wow, I didn't expect them to do that kind of detail. I don't think it opens up or anything like that, so that's actually very impressive. They went to that level of detail to keep that space there, and behind the trigger there to keep that space. On such a tiny, small-scale thing, this is like thumbnail size. That's pretty impressive. It's hard to tell, but the handle here, the grip, does have a different color than the gun itself, which is kind of a sparkly metallic kind of effect. Good job. Such a tiny scale gun. So this tiny little piece is when he's holding his whip. This is where it goes when it loops around on his hip. So when you're using the whip out, obviously you can't have it on his hip too, so this is to kind of pretend that he took it out of this little harness here. Then we've got the Staff of Ra headpiece, which is really well done. I'm really impressed by all these details on these really tiny little things. You can see it's got the red eye, it's got the sculpting. Really good details. Wow. The edge textured there, and very impressive. Finally, we have the fertility idol itself. Looks pretty accurate to me. It's got that weird straight hair. The very suggestive body. Oh boy. That great face with a nice golden finish, and looks like they even painted the inside, or maybe the whole thing was that darker color and then they just painted the outside perhaps. But yeah, looks good. Okay, next up, let's take a look at the heads. I guess we'll just do one at a time. We'll do the hair first maybe. So Harrison Ford is notoriously hard to sculpt. I've seen more terrible sculpts of him that look nothing like him than ones that even remotely look like him. I think they did a really good job here. Super up close, maybe it's weird because this is such a small figure, but if you hold it at a distance, a bit more real size, he looks really good. They really captured his smirk there. I'm happy that they included this version, and this might be the one that I, set him up with. They did a good job adding the gruff hair there and stuff, and paint applications on the eyes and eyebrows and all of that. Even the tiny little spaces between the teeth they did. I don't know if it picks up on camera, but his hair does have some variation. There's like almost a bit of a goldish little color in there and some airbrushing of black. It doesn't really pick up on camera, but it does a good job of replicating Harrison Ford's super dark blonde hair almost. It's like a blondie brownish hair he has. So it looks pretty good. So the hair should just pop out. Well, the face, I guess, technically pops out. So let's put it on this other one, and then we'll take a look at that. So it's not a scary, bald Harrison Ford. So this one's a bit more of like I don't know, I guess a little angry, like he's gonna fight or something like that. There's something a little weird going on with the teeth paint, I think. When you look at it from the bottom, it's a little strange, but straight on, it's pretty good, pretty normal. I wouldn't even mind maybe going in and just touching up that upper lip a little bit, because it's a little strange, but I don't know. In hand, it works, and the sculpt is very good, and the rest of it's very good. It looks like him for sure. They just kind of messed up on that paint on that lip a little bit. So it's like he's got extra teeth up there or something, I don't know. But all in all, he looks good. Once again, he's got all the gruff and stuff like that. If you wanted one to be a little bloodied up, a little cut or something like that, this would be the head to do it with, I think. Okay, so let's take a look at the figure himself. Overall, yeah, he's looking really good. I think a lot of Indiana Jones figures kind of have a problem where his pants, because he has kind of higher 1930s pants that are kind of high and baggy, this section always looks really weird on a lot of indie figures, but seems pretty good here. Doesn't have like a too weird of a shape or anything like that. So this head is also looking pretty nice. You can see he's just got kind of his neutral, a little bit of a smirk kind of face. Of course, very important is the hat. Now, let me just see here. Looking at it, it's not quite as tall and squared off as the Raiders hat should be. Each movie's hat was a little bit different. It looks like they almost got it from the front, but from the side, this shouldn't be tapering back like that. It should almost be bulging out a little bit. And then this strap is almost pushing in and bulbs up the front there. But generally, it looks pretty good. They also got the twist correct. So Harrison Ford didn't actually wear it perfectly lined up with his face. You can see that this center pinch is off from where his nose is. It's too far over. That's actually how he wore it, which made the ribbon go too far forward. So it's cool that they paid enough attention to actually like get that accurate. And I think generally it looks good. It's also removable, I think. So let's see, because there's only one hat but three heads. So there we go. Oh my God, he's C-3PO underneath. Hey, Goldenrod. So you can see that that just plugs into the top. It's kind of like a stiff rubbery material. So usually removable hats on figures always look gigantic and awkward. So most Indiana Jones toys never had that removable hat, because if they did, it was always just big and weird. But this one is actually pretty to scale. They did a good job on it. It doesn't look too strange. So overall, it's quite good. The colors maybe a little too... I have one of the hats made by the guy who did the hats for the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. This almost looks a little too green. I would make it a bit more brown. But overall, I think they did a good job. And this band should be a little darker too. But generally speaking, I think it looks pretty good. There's a closer shot of that face. Yeah, it looks really nice. It looks pretty spot on to Harrison Ford, especially at such a tiny scale. Looking at the jacket here and the shirt, let's see. He's got those extra latches there, that piece that hangs over the pockets there. It looks pretty good. It's a little weird with how it sits up so high, but that's because the shoulders are actually adjustable there. Now it looks okay. You could also bring it down, I think, that way you get a bit more range in these arms. So I think if you're just gonna pose him with his arms down, you just gotta be, pop them up a bit like that and get it set correctly there. It looks pretty good. This is also kind of a rubbery material, a little thinner than the hat. Underneath, he's got his kind of safari khaki adventure shirt. The buttons, I think, yeah, they've got like a little gloss on them and maybe even slightly different paint to really make them pop. It's a nice attention to detail. Oh, also the hands on him, I guess, are kind of his punching hands or action hands. Moving down, we've got the belt, well, the double belts. This is his holster. This is the belt that has the whip there, which I think should just unplug, because then you can swap it out with the other one. And he's got the coiled up whip. Oh, it looks nice. And then he's got his regular pants belt. Goes right around like that. Gold buckle and the gun holster in there. Oh wow, they even textured the belt correctly. It's got, the belts he uses are like a kind of a khaki webbed military belt, kind of. They actually got that texture in there. I wasn't expecting that. And then his pants have lots of nice wrinkles. They sit pretty well. They bunch up here at the bottom. It's always hard to do baggy pants on figures like this. Back there it looks pretty strange. But I'd say generally it looks right, like it's hanging in kind of the right way. Then at the bottom, they've got his Alden 405s, which I own a pair of these boots. And let's see, they seem to have done a pretty good job on them. It's got that top stitch that goes around. Well, they even put the little nails for the heels there. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So overall, there's really not much to say for paint applications. Everything's got proper paint, like I said, the buttons do, you know, the buckles, the laces on the boots, but there's no real like shading or anything like that except for on his skin. But it looks fine. I don't think it necessarily needs it too much, as it on its own it looks pretty good. The jacket's got a really nice leathery bumpy texture to it. I'm just noticing that now. It really makes it look really natural. So let's take these arms off and we'll see how he looks with just the shirt on. If you're curious, inside the jacket, oh, it looks like he's been sweating a lot. Oh no, Indy been running around. There we've got the Lucasfilm logo and some special symbol there. What is that all about? Secret code. Okay, so I also switched out his head just to see how that looks. It looks really good. I'm just trying to see if he looks too narrow in the shoulders. Harrison Ford was actually a fairly thin guy back when he was doing like the first Star Wars and first Raiders, or first Indiana Jones. But he might be a little narrow in the shoulders. No, that looks pretty good. I think once you pull out this floating piece here, if you're just going to have him kind of casually, you know, hand on his hip and something like that. Yeah, that looks pretty good, actually. I guess it could be a little bit wider, but I don't think it's actually as weird as it first looked. I think generally speaking, that's all right. Then you can maybe even have him crossing his arms or something like that. That gives him more of that range. And I understand because of the jacket, they couldn't make him too bulky in the shoulder. But yeah, I think as long as you pull that out all the way and then pull out the actual arm all the way, then it looks okay. As long as he's not like this. I want to give him like a little orange or apple or maybe a date to be snacking on with this face. While we're here, we should put the bag on him and see how that looks. That really helps complete the look. Indiana Jones always wore his bag under his jacket, so if you're going to put the leather jacket on top, make sure you keep this underneath and not on top. That looks good though. That fits him really well. Yeah, that's really nice. Okay, so let's check out some articulation. He's got some movement here just under at the top of the neck in the jaw area. He's also got it at the base of the neck. Yeah, so he's got pretty good range. Wow, it's very dramatic. He's got a lot of range in the shoulders. You can kind of go in and out like that. I just popped it out, but good, so you can actually see. So this unfolds, and he's got a lot of movement in there, as well as this piece. So I think he's got a fair bit of extension, and that just pops right in there. With this face, he's kind of looking like a creeper, but you can see, get his arms right back, right forward, could cross right in front. But once you do that, you're starting to really expose, you know, how it all works. Then he's got this kind of chest bend here with about that much range. If you want to make it Indiana Jones from the new movie, you can look like that. And he's got this kind of hip waist area. Oh, my whip just fell out, but there you go. He's got a lot of range there. Then for his hips, let's see. Oh, he can go pretty high. This kind of diaper piece is sort of a rubbery thing there, so I guess that's what allows that. Then at the knee, you can go that far and that far. The ankle, I think it's a little bit limited because this piece on the bottom of his pants here, that's just a hard plastic. So it can only go that much out, that much down, and a bit of side to side like that. And then he's got a toe joint too. Just got a little bit of range, not too much. As for the elbow, he goes that far back, that far out, and then a little bit of wrist movement. It can spin around and it can kind of go in and out a little bit like that. Now I can see what that face is for. When he's really angry like that, looks pretty good. Okay, so let's try out his hands and some of these accessories and see how they look with him. Okay, there he is with the gun. Fits nicely. Maybe he's a little weird smiling and pointing that gun, but it fits really well. His finger goes in the trigger there, nicely lined up. Next up, we've got the sandbag, and his fingers fit really smoothly into those little indentations. Just put the thumb right in there. If I can do this looking through the camera, there we go. And that just fits in real snug. Just holds on no problem if you got to make that switch. So I was wondering what this weird sticking out little tag was on his hand. So apparently what it is that the mouth of the idol goes right into there, just like that, so he can hold the idol. Maybe that's when he's switching it out or escaping from the traps. It's an interesting way to do it. I mean, technically I guess it's kind of biting him, but it fits well and it's snug, it's not going anywhere. So you could have him holding the sand and the idol and kind of switching them out like that. The scale is good too. That seems about right, I think. I was wondering what this really fine little hand was, and that seems to be to hold the headpiece of the Staff of Ra. And yep, everything fits really nice. It's not hard to put in and out, and they don't fall. Just be careful when switching out the hands and stuff, because that peg is very small. But they come in and out pretty easy, so it's not a problem, but just be careful. And there he is holding the whip. That looks really good. Look at that shot with that face and the whip. Yeah, that looks great. I mean, I'm sure you could get a better, more action-y, wider pose or whatever when doing the whip, but that looks really good. You could also just have him giving a nice thumbs up.
Fortune and glory, kid.
You could also have him holding the hat too. That works. This hand is not perfectly tight enough just to hold it in kind of a natural way. The instruction booklet recommends using this hand to hold the hat like that. That's a really weird way to hold the hat. Actually, I find the thumbs up hand does a much better job of holding it, and it's really in there. Well, there you go. That's it. I'd say it's a really great figure. As a lifelong Indiana Jones fan, this is basically the figure I wanted my whole life to come out. He's really great. He's got lots of great little optional pieces here. He's got all his key things that he needs, and it looks like Harrison Ford, most importantly. It's a rare thing with these types of figures. So yeah, I would highly recommend it if you're a big fan of Indiana Jones and specifically Raiders of the Lost Ark. Well, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.